We're about to get started. If everybody could take their seats, please. Thank you. Okay, let's get this started. This is a really exciting night that a lot of people have been looking forward to, and we're doing our best to make it special for you. There's so many people that we're going to honor tonight. It's so great to be here with all the swimming community, coaches, sponsors. There's a lot of athletes here helping, helping to support the coaches that are being honored. So it's a beautiful night. I just want to point out that there are programs in the middle of all the tables. So it has the order of events and it has information on our honorees tonight. So yeah, feel free to reach in and get your program and follow along. I promised earlier, I don't know if you heard, but I promised earlier that this would be one of the most inspirational events of the week and probably the year for most people. I know that those of us who have been at inductee ceremonies before, that people walk away and are just like amazed at the stories and the passion and the love and the dedication that we hear about. And so we're looking forward to hearing that tonight. We're going to honor 3 amazing longtime coaches who have a lot of supporters here. I know we have Rob Orr. We have Jim Steen. And we have Pete Hovland. We're also going to meet our finalists for the Age Group Coach of the Year. I think we have 6 of the 10 who are here, which is great, and then we'll reveal who the winner is. We're going to meet our finalists for the Impact Coach of the Year. We'll reveal who the winner is on that one, and we're going to meet our ASCA George Haynes Coach of the Year finalists for this year. It's always exciting in an Olympic year, and then we will reveal the finalists at the end. The first thing on the agenda is the Fitter and Faster Age Group Coach of the Year Awards. So for that, I'm going to call to the stage David Arluck and the Fitter and Faster team.
Thanks, Jennifer. Hi, everybody. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., Fitter and Faster is producing a panel called Cultivating Trust, Building Strong Parent-Coach Relationships for Athletic Success. I hope that everybody goes. There's other panels at 10:30 also. I hope you decide to go to this one. We put a lot of effort into putting this one together. It's a panel that discusses the vital and yet often challenging dynamics between coaches and parents in youth sports. And the panel will be moderated by ASCA President Mike Murray, and on the panel will be John Nelson from York YMCA, Jean Fink. She's a swim mom of 3 fabulous swimmers, including Summer, who now works for Fitter and Faster. She had been a clinician for us. Autumn, and then you may know her son Bobby, who competed this summer in Paris, broke a world record, and won the gold medal in the 1500 on the final day of the Olympics. My son's coach, Bruce Gemmell, who's also, his daughter competed this summer at the Olympics, and he's also coached other notable swimmers, and I will also be on the panel. The panel will review actionable strategies for creating a collaborative and trusting relationship between coaches, parents, and athletes. By cultivating stronger relationships, we keep swimmers in the sport longer, we promote the growth of the sport, which we all know is very important, and we make every day at work for coaches much more rewarding, and I hope to see you all there. For the past 11 years, Fitter and Faster has been sponsoring the Age Group Coach of the Year Award, and there's a number of faces here that are recognizable from previous years, and they're obviously having a lot of success. And while the award recognizes competitive success in the pool based on power rankings, there are many thousands of other coaches who have meaningful impacts in the lives of swimmers and families all across the country. for many, many, many decades, touching on millions of swimmers. And I hope that our sponsorship of this award shines a light on all developmental age group and pre-college coaches who are bringing new swimmers into the sport, retaining them, teaching them discipline and technique, and developing relationships with families, volunteers, officials, and making swimming fun. So now I'd like to bring up, well, actually they're here. This is my team, and I have more of my team over there. So I wanted to introduce first Susie Weissman. She's our director of camp creation. She's been with Fitter and Faster for 9 years. And Michael Planamora, who's been with the company for quite a while as well. He's our director of registrations to introduce the top 10 finalists for the Fitter and Faster Age Group Coach of the Year Award.
Thank you, David. To get started, we want to introduce Joe Fink, St. Petersburg Aquatics in Florida. Next is Rod Hansen with Irvine Nova Aquatics, California. And next, Tom Himes, North Baltimore Aquatic Club in Maryland. Mike Julian, Nova of Virginia Aquatics, Virginia.
Thank you.
Next is Russ Castle, Swim Mac, Carolina, North Carolina. He's not here with us tonight. Luke Nelson, Nova of Virginia Aquatics, Virginia. Rob Norman, TAC Titans, North Carolina. He's not here with us tonight. Thomas Pearson, Crow Canyon Sharks. Not with us. Peter Robinson, Nitro Swimming. And finally, Sherwood Watts, North Carolina Aquatic Club, North Carolina. And to announce the runners, Josh White and
All right.
Sierra Runge.
And the winner is Rod Hansen from Irvine Nova Aquatics.
Second year, yeah. Congratulations.
Picture time again. Go ahead. Oh, why am I in the middle? Hold on. Wait on. That goes in the china closet. Congratulations. All right.
Do you want to say a word or two?
Thank you.
All right. We're moving on now to the Hall of Fame inductees. So if you could direct your attention to the screens, we will meet our first honoree, which is Pete Hovland.
Those in the world of college swimming have known for a long time the Golden Grizzlies were dominant in the water under Pete Hovland. Hovland's coaching career began in 1978 at the University of Northern Iowa, before moving to Oakland University as an assistant the next year. In 1981, he took over as head coach, starting his run in Oakland that spanned an impressive 42 years, during which the Golden Grizzlies reached remarkable heights. Hovland's teams won every conference championship they contested, a staggering total of 44 championships, including 4 straight NCAA Division II titles from 1994 to 97. He earned the prestigious title of NCAA Division II Coach of the Year 7 times and was named Conference Coach of the Year 30 times among the various conferences Oakland competed in. Hovland has shaped the careers of numerous swimmers who found success under his guidance, boasting an impressive tally of 54 individual NCAA Division II national champions. His men's teams won 41 conference titles, and the women earned 21 conference championships. Hovland's contribution to the sport earned him the Chico State Hall of Honor in 1998 and the City of Chico Hall of Fame in 2009. In 2016, the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame welcomed him. The Summit League Hall of Fame brought Hovland in 2020, commemorating his profound impact on collegiate swimming. And Hovland's legacy was further enshrined when he was named one of the 100 greatest swimming and diving coaches of the past century by the College Swimming and Diving Coaches Association of America in 2021. The American Swimming Coaches Association is proud to welcome Pete Hovland to our Hall of Fame.
And to introduce Pete Hovland is Coach Mike Culliber.
I'm not Pete Hovland. Hey, y'all. I am not Pete Hovland, and I rewrote this whole thing on Tuesday morning. I was all set to go with something, and I said, nope, I'm changing tacks here. So I'm not going to talk championships. I'm not going to talk winning records or All-Americans. I'm going to dive a little deeper as we honor one of the greatest coaches in our sport that up until today, many of you probably never heard of. I recall that summer morning, 44 years ago, meeting Pete for the first time. I had switched club teams to be coached by him. It was at Southfield Civic Center, outdoor pool, and he'd drive the van. We'd meet at Oakland University, and then we'd drive in about another 45 minutes in a van to get an hour and a half of long course in about a 4-foot deep pool, and we did what we had to do. So he was named Athlete of the Decade at Chico State, swimming for one of the true legends of coaching, Dr. Ernie McGlisco. Pete took a leap of faith after receiving his master's in PE to join Ernie as they both left the Gold Coast to California for a relatively unknown Division II school called Oakland University, nestled in the hills of a northern suburb of Detroit called Rochester, Michigan, not Oakland, California. That's how it all started. A young man who was frequently mistaken as Magnum PI. It's true, he shook his head. Loaded up his white Z28 with the T-tops and blue rally stripes. He had flip-flops and he had these sunglasses called Varnays that we'd never seen before in Michigan. We thought he was cool, really cool. So you all just saw what it led to. That road trip from California to Rochester, Michigan, 40 plus years later, he transformed thousands of lives. As Pete's influence continues to resonate in the coaching ranks today with dozens of us who are part of the Hovland coaching tree. So how does a coach sustain greatness for over 4 decades? Let's start with the basics. They come first. Technical expertise. Part of my swim years at Oakland University were spent in a trailer classroom learning about laminar and planar flow, the Bernoulli principle, angles of hand pitch, getting pricked and poked for lactate testing, hydrostatic body fat percentage readouts, et cetera. And this was in the 80s in a 6-lane pool ranging from maybe 4 feet to I think 4.5 feet deep. I don't even know if we were 5 feet deep at Lepley with starting blocks, all right? Strength and conditioning. He had a Killer Stations format circuit set up around the pool deck with pulley swim benches on insanely steep angles. Resistance cords, weight sessions in the morning. We even had a short-lived stint with aerobic classes that didn't last too long and they didn't end up too good after the instructor vowed to never work with us again as a result of us not taking it seriously enough. If you can imagine a room full of college guys trying to do aerobics. Pete wasn't too happy with us after that one, but he had us in peak form when it mattered most. Workout writing, best of the best. Dialed in, separate groups, whatever we needed, Pete knew it, he'd provide it. But here's where he begins to separate himself, as the great ones tend to do. The unfinished business mindset. And I know a lot of you probably shaking your heads, that's what swim coaches do, it's unfinished business. After nationals each year, we take about a 2-week break. When we returned for spring workouts in April, there was already a big 351 or a 352 or some number in the 350s written on this big chalkboard on the pool deck. And that indicated how many more days until the next NC2As. NFL great Tom Brady was often asked which championship ring is his favorite. His reply, my next one. That's Pete Hovland. Commitment to a standard. There were never any shortcuts, something you would never hear uttered by Pete. Yeah, I guess that was good enough. Good enough was not good enough. Not part of his vernacular. His standards were exacting, they were precise, they were understood, and they were upheld. Anal retentiveness, obsessive compulsive disorder, I believe are incorrectly referred to as disorders, at least when it pertains to coaching. I think it should be a prerequisite at the door for anyone checking in to be a great coach. You go down the list of the greatest coaches ever, and I guarantee you that every one of them possessed both of those. Pete was Nick Saban before Nick Saban was Nick Saban. One of my favorite Nick Sabanisms is, most teams practice until they get it right. We practice until we don't get it wrong. That's Pete Hovland. His kindness and caring outside the pool. Pete went way and above and beyond for his teams. He wasn't obligated to. He'd have us all over for his house for lasagna dinners, early season weekend team retreats, Christmas training trips to everywhere, Florida, even Curacao. I recall at Nationals one year, right here in Orlando, down the street, the former Justice Aquatic Center, now known as the Rosen Aquatic Center, and every building down here is named Rosen. And by the way, he's a really nice guy. Pete single-handedly arranged a trip for us all to go to Epcot Center the day after Nationals. We didn't deserve it. At the time, I don't think we appreciated it either. But I look back at all those extra experiences he continued to deliver to us, and I realized how fortunate I was to be able to swim for Pete. If I needed help at 3 a.m., I'm calling him. He knows. Dang it. I promised myself I'd do this. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Knowing his teams. Navigating that complex dance, the intricacies of when to push, when to pull back, when to lay the hammer down, or when to call for a goggle toss or a get-out swim. He knew that line. There were times he'd look at me in the water and just say, I'll see you in 2 days. Get out of here. Because he knew he needed it. Lastly, the one trait that puts Pete on my personal Mount Rushmore of coaches. He possesses the coach's eye of being able to look beyond, beneath, around, outside, inside to someone's true potential. He had a laser focus that could zoom in and out, in on your heart and soul. My son, Cal, graduate of University of Kentucky. My daughter's a sophomore at University of Texas. They're both both involved in fraternity and sorority life. In fact, they were particularly involved in the selection of new members. And if you've ever been a part or at least observed the sorority and fraternity life when they're selecting new members, I think it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal how they choose and not choose people in fraternities and sororities. But they showed me videos of prospective candidates and asked me what I thought. And I always saw the potential, right? Hey, I like that. And Dad, seriously? What do you see? It is just something that we coaches see, right? It became a joke around our house that I'd have the largest fraternity in the planet because I wouldn't say no to anyone, because I believe everyone has potential. I think that's true for most of us here tonight. But it goes deeper for Pete. He could see the potential in just about everyone and then back it up by doing all he could to get you on his squad. After all, here goes. I'm all right. He took a chance on a kid who couldn't cut at the Naval Academy. After 1 year, who spent another year at community college, not touching the water, who's trying to find his way. He gave me my shot, and I don't know if anyone else would have. And I'm not the only one. Pete is the king of second chances. That's Pete Hovland, and I'll be forever grateful for him. In closing, this is the toughest one right here, guys. I'll get through it, Jen. There are only two people who I truly cared about being proud of me, and it still drives me today when I was growing up as a kid, and it's my mom and dad, probably like everybody here. But it didn't take long for a third person to enter that picture, and that's Pete. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to be the one to officially induct him in the American Swim Coaches Association Hall of Fame, class of 24. Please welcome to the stage my coach, my mentor, my friend, Pete Hovland.
Wow, that's hard to follow. It's going to be hard to follow. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. Before I start, I don't know how many, I can't see a lot of people here, but how many of you guys before today knew where Oakland University was? Okay, good. How many of you guys had Oakland University in your basketball bracket in March, beating Kentucky in the first round? Anybody? One person? Two people? See me later. I'm going to take you guys out. Okay, for a cold one. So anyway, yeah. But I'm deeply honored to be here tonight, standing before you as one of this year's Hall of Honor recipients, sharing this moment with two icons and pillars of our sport, like Rob Orr and my dear friend Jim Steen. It's a moment I'll cherish the rest of my life. But this award isn't just a reflection of my accomplishments, but a testament to the incredible journey we've had the privilege to experience as college swimming coaches. When I first started coaching, first as a volunteer and then as a part-time assistant with Clark Yeager at Chico State University, and then with Glenn Henry as a graduate assistant at the University of Northern Iowa, I quickly realized that coaching wasn't just about teaching, technique, or training. All things I learned while swimming for my mentor, my influencer, my father figure, and my dear friend, Dr. Ernie McGlisco. It was under these three coaches that I learned that the profession of coaching was also about shaping people by pushing them to discover their full potential, by building their confidence, and by helping them learn the values of hard work, perseverance, and self-sacrifice. Lessons that extended beyond the pool, lessons that they've carried into every aspect of their life. Our sport, in essence, is a sport of discipline, resilience, and will. It has been those qualities that I've saw in my athletes day in and day out that I related to very strongly. Qualities that inspired me and drove me to be the best version of myself the past 40-plus years. On a lighter note, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my first age group coach, Bill Hurd at the San Jose YMCA. You see, when I was 11 years old, my friends talked me into joining my first swim team. It was a thing we all did growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in, Campbell, California, and I certainly didn't want to be left out. So I showed up to my first practice, and I was scared to death. I walked out onto the pool deck, and it was pretty loud, so Coach Bill Hurd couldn't converse with the parents he was talking to. So like any good coach would do, he put us all in push-up position, something I'm sure we can't do today. Needless to say, he got our attention, and since this was the first time I'd been made to do this, you guessed it, I didn't last long. The bow in my back, my ever-shaking arms, and my board shorts must have given me away, because it seemed like the second my knees touched the deck, Coach Hurd yelled out, "You, the skinny kid with the board shorts, get out of here." I'd have to say that getting kicked out of my first practice, even before it started, my swimming career didn't get off to a rousing start. Fortunately, my coach believed in second chances. Speaking of second chances, I want to thank Mike Koliber for being here with me tonight and for his kind and heartfelt introduction. Mike and I first met, as he mentioned, when he was a teenager, and he had left one group to join our group, the Oakland Live Wires, or OLI, the club team I was also responsible for coaching in my first 2 years at OU. He had immediate success in our program, so when his senior year rolled around and he was swimming really, really fast, you can imagine how disappointed I was when he turned down my scholarship offer for another program. Fortunately, a change of heart brought him back home after his freshman year. From the moment he stepped on campus, his impact on my program was immediate and immeasurable. His energy, positivity, and leadership helped me establish myself and helped me create the championship culture that exists today at Oakland. Thank you, Mike, for your friendship all these years. Thank you, Mike and Tracy, for all that you have done and continue to do for Oakland University and our programs. Over my coaching career, I've had the privilege of working with athletes from all over the world. I've had a front row seat as I've watched my athletes push themselves beyond the limits they had set for themselves when they walked through the door as freshmen. I watched them as they transformed themselves into Division II and Division I All-Americans, national champions, and Olympians. I've watched as they've transformed themselves into fierce competitors, both in sport and in life. I've watched them learn the value of being a great teammate and how that would help them accomplish even greater goals. It is these qualities that I've seen in my athletes time and time again, qualities that inspired me and motivated me all these years. It never got old, it never gets old, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss it even today. Of course, the journey wasn't always easy. There were times when progress felt like it was coming in inches rather than strides, tenths instead of seconds. There were setbacks and disappointments along the way, like finishing second at NCAAs 8 years in a row, before breaking through and going on to win the ultimate prize and going on a run of our own. But through it all, what stands out most to me is the resilience and determination of my athletes and staff, because it was in those moments when things didn't go as planned that we learned the most about ourselves and our character. It's when we were forced to dig deep, learn to depend and support one another, and keep pushing that we truly grew, not just as athletes, but as individuals and champions. Like all of you, I've also been fortunate to witness moments of pure joy. Watching an athlete achieve a PB, qualify for a major championship, break a record, and having to win the 400 free relay on the last day of your coaching career to keep your conference championship win streak alive. Let me share a quick story with you. September of 2023, I announced to the university, it was the summer, August, I announced to the university that this would be my last year. Told our team in September to kind of prepare them for the year and get the motion out of the way before the end of the season. Season's going really, really well. We get to second semester. I lose two of my top divers to injuries in late January, early February before the conference championships. I pull my men's team aside like I always do the Monday night before the championships, and we have our kind of sit-down talk where I dope out the meat and what I think is going to happen. And I share with them and the coaches we've been working on, and kind of we score out the meat and stuff. And with the loss of the 2 divers, I ended up taking 18 swimmers. And the team that we were competing against, who had already been picked first in the year by the coaches poll, right, which got us pretty worked up, they took 6 divers. So we knew we had our work cut out for us. First day of the conference championship rolls around. Their divers go, top 6 go, 6 of their divers score top 10. We're outscored 75 points before the meet even really gets going. A couple of relays I think we're 79 points down going into day 2. But I told our team prior to this that it's going to be a roller coaster. Day 1 and 3, with a diving disadvantage, we would be down. But we were going to outswim them every single day, and not to worry, because we were going to get to the last day, and we were going to get to the last relay, and we were going to have an opportunity to win the meet. Last day comes. We finally catch them after the 100 freestyle. We go 4 of the top 6 guys in the 100 freestyle, and we take our first lead of the championship. The breaststroke, we give the lead back. In the 200 fly, we take it back. We go into the last relay up 5 points. We need to win the relay and beat them to win the meet. Putting my 400 freestyle relay together, I've got 5 of the fastest sprinters in the country. I knew we were in great shape. I had one choice to make. I had 2 freshmen vying for the 4th spot with 3 seniors. I chose one, pulled him aside before the race and said, okay, just stay on the blocks. Make sure the start is good and things will be good. Swim with a smile on your face. You're not going to win it. You're not going to lose it, but just make sure you're safe on that start. No problem, coach. We jump in, outsplit the first leg by 6 or 7 tenths. Second swimmer jumps in, outsplits their swimmer 6 or 7 tenths. We've got a good 1.5, 2-second lead. My 3rd swimmer, the freshman, jumps in. The crowd goes silent. Splits. He got 6th in the 100 freestyle. He goes at 44.5. He goes 43 flat. We anchor the relay. We set the conference record. We set our school record. We go 2:52 in the 400 free relay. Our anchor goes 42 flat or something. And yet no one's cheering. We hear an announcement. This race is under review. Place just like it is right now. You can hear a pin drop. Kids are coming back. A young man comes up to me, and I tell all the guys they're split, nice job, congratulations, guys, trying to stay positive. And he goes, what was my relay takeoff? And I went 0.03. Announcement comes up a second later. The results are official. You know, Oakland University wins the 400 free relay. We win our championship. And I walked up to him and I put my hand on his shoulders and I looked him in the eyes, 6'4" kid, kind of quiet. We picked him because he was kind of quiet. He was safe. Put my hands on his shoulders and said, you know, what were you thinking? And he goes, well, you tell us every day, practice perfect. And I'd say that was pretty close to being perfect, don't you? And he turns to walk away, and I go, you know, Charlie Brown, you're right. It's his name, Charlie Brown. It's these qualities that I've seen in my athletes time and time again, qualities that inspired me and motivated me all these years. Excuse me, I lost my place here and stuff, but these are the moments that make all the hard work worth it. The relationships we build along the way between coach and athlete and between teammates that are the foundation of everything we do. I'm proud to say that many of the swimmers I've coached and the coaches that I've mentored have been lifelong friends. Tracy Huth, Arthur and Amy Albiero, Brian and Danielle Tanzel, Mike Kolber, Jeff and Lynn Cooper, Mitch Alters, and my partner in our business, Paul Hutch, to name a few. Together, we've built a community of excellence that extends beyond the confines of any one season. To my athletes, I want to say thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for giving me your all. Thank you for striving to be the best version of yourself. And thank you for never giving up. They have shown what true dedication looks like, and I'm endlessly proud of each and every one of them. To my fellow coaches and support staff, the ones that have been by my side throughout this journey, This award is as much yours as it is mine. Coaching is a team effort, and I couldn't have done any of this alone. Thank you for your wisdom, your support, and for pushing me to be the best coach, mentor, and person I could be. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the most important person in my life, besides my parents, Neil and Phyllis, who are no longer with us, but I'm sure are smiling somewhere tonight, my wife, Lori. We've been together 34 years, and I can honestly say that none of this would be possible without her unwavering support. Lori, you've been my rock, my confidant, and my biggest cheerleader. You've stood by me through the highs and lows, the early mornings, the long weekends, and the missed holidays. Your love and encouragement have given me the strength to pursue my passion, and I'm forever grateful for everything you've done for me. Thank you for being my partner in this journey. I lovingly share this award with you. In closing, I want to say that while awards and recognitions are meaningful, what truly matters are the lives we touch, the lessons we impart, the love we have for what we do, and the love we have for each other. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize a few of my lifelong friends and colleagues, my Santa Clara teammate and lifelong friend and colleague, Mike Bottom, the late John Urbanchek, Peter Lynn, Monty Hopkins, Mark Bernardino, Don Megerly, Rock Santos, to name a few. Thank you for all sharing your knowledge and your friendship so freely all these years. I'm incredibly grateful for the experience I've had, and I look forward to many more years of watching our OU athletes grow, overcome their challenges, and achieve their dreams. Thank you all for this incredible honor. Here's to your journeys and your successes. Thank you.
Clapped up the joint. Nice job. Clapped up the joint.
All right, that was wonderful. Our next inductee is Rob Orr. So please direct your attention to the screens so we can see a video on Rob.
Rob Orr's journey in the sport began at the University of Southern California from 1968 to 1972, where he was voted captain by his teammates in his senior year, a year which also saw him earn All-American status. After his competitive years, Orr transitioned seamlessly into coaching, serving as an assistant at USC from 1975 to 1977 under Hall of Fame coach Peter Dalen, a period where the Trojans won national titles in each of those years. Armed with that major college knowledge, Orr took over as the head coach of the Dad's Club AAU team from 1977 to 79 in Houston. In 1979, Princeton University beckoned Orr to take the role of head coach for the men's swimming team, a position he held with distinction until 2019. The Tigers lived up to their name in the water, going 322-57 in dual meets from 1979 to 2017, including a 115-2 record in the D'Annunzio pool. That run included a 107 meet win streak at home. Orr coached 5 Olympians, 38 individual All-Americans, 24 All-American relays, and 2 NCAA relay championships. Orr also led Princeton to an impressive 23 Ivy League team championships, and he retired with 330 dual meet victories, third best of all time. Princeton finished either first or second in the Ivy League from 1982 and 83 until 2017. His expertise earned him recognition as head coach for the U.S. Olympic Festival in 1991 and the women's head coach for the U.S. National Junior Team in 1993. He was further celebrated with the 2015 CSCAA Richard Stedman Award and the 1990 CSCAA Master Coach Award. The American Swimming Coaches Association is thrilled to induct Rob Orr into the ASCA Hall of Fame.
And to introduce Coach Rob Orr is Brian Donahue.
Good evening. How are we doing tonight? I want to thank all of you for being here. Can I just ask, how many of you are under the age of 40? All of you want to be this guy, right? So I'm going to give you a couple of sort of tricks on how to do it. My name is Brian Donahue. I'm a relative nobody. I don't coach. Hell, I don't swim. I don't even look like a swimmer. But for some crazy reason, I think it's because I live closest to this hotel, Rob decided to make me the guy that introduces him. He's got 15 guys over there that could do a better job than me, and he picked me. So here goes. Because I have no courage, I asked a bunch of people at Princeton to help me with this, because it's really an unbelievable burden to introduce a guy. He was there 40 years. That's 10 four-year chunks. I was there for the third 4 years of chunks. And we didn't lose very often. We lost to SMU, we lost to Tennessee, we lost to Penn, boo, and we lost to Harvard, which is expected because they shave and we don't. But we won conference every daggone year, and we were top 13 several times. The point is that all those other teams that beat us were scholarship schools. You know how much money our athletes got at Princeton? This much. Zero for the young guys. We didn't have NIL. We didn't have cell phones either. So I was just sort of noodling what it takes to be a really good swim coach, and got all this help from all these people, and I've got notes. I've got notes from people. And, oh my gosh, there's so many chefs in the kitchen that want to say something nice about Rob. So a great swim coach is someone who inspires you and helps you grow beyond the limits, refines your technique and strategy, times, all these other things. Then there's Rob. Rob is a little bit different. Rob is not OCDs. Rob is not... And I want to thank Mike. That was awesome. Thanks for setting the bar really high on a speech. And Pete, when Rob's after me, you're going to be like, oh, my God, at least the next guy's going to be better. I'm going to tell you something. I wrote several speeches. I got AI's help, and I have some really good speeches. I'll post them, and you can go read them. If you want to know about results, go on our Princeton University website. It'll tell you about Rob's the winningest coach in the history of Princeton, or at least when he was there. Rob is the third winningest coach in the history of college swimming. Rob, I always tease him, Rob beat Mark Spitz, didn't you? He got mono. Nonetheless, right? Rob's heart is huge. I don't know if you know what Swim with Mike is. Some of the things that Rob has done and taught me. So I'm not here, and due respect, I think you're all really nice people, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm not here for you. I'm here for Rob, and I'm here for those guys in the black and orange Hawaiian shirts. I wore this tie. I don't ever wear this tie. I got this tie from my Princeton reunion. I wore this tie out of an honor for Rob. Rob never wore anything but goofy shirts like those Hawaiian shirts, unless it was meet day. Then he wore a tie. I never understood that, by the way. And today you see him wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Rob is who Rob is. He is quirky, and he's the guy that can get the most out of you. He met everybody at their own level, whether it's somebody that didn't break 5 minutes in the 500 free, or somebody that won NC2As. We had Olympic gold medalists, we won NC2As, but you would never know it the way he treated people, and that's the way, gang, I want you to treat your swimmers, okay? Your job is to make this sport so fun that that kid wants to come to practice the next day to swim for you. It's not hard. Rob did that for me, and I've got a ton of stories that make me laugh, that make him laugh, that make Susan Teeter, if you guys know her, she hated me, that still make her angry. Before every practice, so lads, I need your help. Before every practice, we all had a routine. The captains would get on deck, we would get up, and we did the same thing every day. We had 2:30 practice, 4:30 practice, of course, we had the morning practices. We all got up there, and we would do the same thing. We had these stretches, and Rob instituted this, and we all did the same thing. So I'm going to go right, up, center, up, left, and back, right? And then we had storkers, right? On the count of 3, I need you to go whack. So 1, 2, 3, whack, 5, 6, 7, and switch. And you do the same thing on the left leg. Down, 2, 3, and we clapped. Now imagine having 50 guys doing that every single practice, the cohesiveness, the team that built. We'd go to conference and we would do that, because that's what we did before everything. It was consistent, it was fun, and anyway, I promise not to go past my 5 minutes, Rob. I am honored. I am honored that you asked me, but I'm still kind of pissed at you because you could have asked any of those other guys. Gang, please allow me to introduce Rob Orr, Hall of Fame.
It's a beautiful day, and it's great to be alive. That was JT's slogan for his United Swimming Clinics. Every summer, kids wake them up. How do you wake them up? It's a beautiful day. It's great to be alive. So there's thousands of kids across the country that end up going to those clinics that end up, hopefully, are still saying that. I want to thank Brian Donahue, class of 91. For the intro. It's very nice of you. I have a fast question for everyone here. If in fact, by a show of hands here, if in fact part of your decision to become a coach was to have a job where you didn't have to wear a tie, raise your hand. Oh, there's hope. It can be done. It can be done. That's good. So my acceptance speech today is to say all my thank yous, and I want to thank the committee and whoever helped me receive this distinguished honor, right? Especially with Pete and Jim. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm sincerely grateful for that. Thanks to my wife for 42 years. For putting up with me coming home pissed and mourning in a shitty mood after dealing with these idiots, and or some times and results, and she'd keep it in perspective with just 3 words: it's just swimming. And there's so much truth to that. Next thanks is to Susan Teeter for 33 years of helping each other out through some challenging adventures. And to all my assistants, those that are there for the free meal, and those that are not, who now know what I meant when I told them coaching isn't coaching. Which is what I learned from Peter Dalen, my mentor, and to all the coaches, past and present, that I had the privilege of getting to know over the years that taught me one key point about coaching, and that point is to have fun with what you're doing. Let's see, I wouldn't have been selected for this fine honor if it wasn't for the fine coaches that lent me their swimmers. Rich Corehammer, double gold medal winner, Pan Am Games. Jack Nelson, thank you, Jack. All right, Dan Veach, all right, sole finalist, national champion, sole finalist in backstroke, Mark Schubert, and Nelson Diebel, Barcelona Olympic champion, Chris Martin. Without those gentlemen, I wouldn't be here. It just goes to say. My amazing but uglier brother, Ron, out of USC, has established the Swim with Mike Foundation. that has raised over $30 million, providing 315 scholarships and at 156 universities for individuals that have faced multiple life challenges. Over 50 of those recipients had encountered life-changing events that occurred around the pool, ocean, lakes. All right? It is our role as coaches to help our swimmers become better people and to educate them by keeping them safe. All right? And I want you to take, if nothing else from this clinic, 7 words. Never jump or dive into unknown waters. It's a beautiful day to be alive, and it's a beautiful day, and it's great to be alive. And then I want to close with what my brother-in-law always says, that doesn't get any better than this.
That was fantastic. Okay, our next inductee is Jim Steen, and please direct your attention to the screens while we learn about Jim Steen.
From 1976 to 2012, Jim Steen served as the head coach for both the men's and women's swimming teams at Kenyon College. Under his leadership, the men's team achieved an astounding 31 consecutive National Division III championships, with Steen being credited with 29 of those titles due to 2 separate sabbatical years. Similarly, the women's team secured 17 consecutive national championships and a total of 21 titles during Steen's tenure.
Kenyon College in Ohio has dominated Division III swimming for the last decade. So I guess we should not be surprised at the fact that the Lords and Ladies are again favored to win the championships again.
Steen's impact on collegiate swimming is unparalleled. His total of 50 NCAA Division III team titles stands as the highest among any coach in NCAA history across all sports and divisions. His swimmers won 471 NCAA titles and set 155 NCAA records. Steen coached 328 All-Americans and facilitated his athletes' receipt of 47 NCAA postgraduate scholarships, the most of any coach in any division. Throughout his illustrious career, Steen has been recognized with numerous accolades, including being a 16-time winner, 11 for the men and 5 for women, of the CSCAA NCAA Division III Coach of the Year Award, and a 26-time recipient of the ASCA Certificate of Excellence. He won the North Coast Athletic Conference Coach of the Year 8 times for his women's team and 5 for the men's. Steen was called upon to work with coaches prior to the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, and his unwavering dedication to excellence and his ability to inspire greatness in his athletes have solidified his legacy as one of the most accomplished and respected coaches in collegiate sports history. Success has brought him recognition not just in the United States, but around the world. But perhaps his greatest legacy is out of the pool, with an estimated 24 former Steen athletes now taking his methods and coaching their own swimmers. The American Swimming Coaches Hall of Fame is honored to welcome Jim Steen to the class of 2024.
And to introduce Coach Steen is Coach Arthur Albiero.
So about 5 days ago, I got a message from Jim that I only had 5 minutes to begin with, but he wanted more time. So he says, Arthur, you only got 3. I'll do what I can. It's a great pleasure to be here. I would like to thank ASCA. This is one of the most inspiring evenings for sure, Jennifer, and I, having been through these many times, it never fails. This might be the the moment of Hall of Fame with these three guys being inducted today. Coach Rob Orr, I didn't swim for you, but I could have. I love that energy. And I love this bunch of guys right here that you named, whatever you call them. Coach Pete Hovland, my coach. So it's a unique moment in time for me to be here with two of my mentors, in Jim and Pete, at this very moment. But I'm here to introduce Jim's team. And Jim is a graduate of Kent State University, political science. He also got his master's in education, Miami of Ohio. He coached at Kenyon College from 75 to 2012. The accolades are there. I read this, and I've known this, but the 50 national titles stuck with me. That's an amazing accomplishment at any level, in any endeavor, to have that level of excellence for that many years. 50 national titles. Although those are impressive, these achievements and accolades never define, as we call them, Coach Man. Jim's a phenomenal motivator. Definitely not the hype type of guy, but his genuine interest in you when you're having a conversation with him allows him to truly connect with people. He's well-read, and he can level with anyone, can connect with world events, Shania Twain, sporting events, country music, you name it. He can level with anyone. First time I met Jim, I had a young family, married, young kid, baby boy, and I thought my swimming career was over. I was coming for a conversation with Jim's team. And we come in, we meet at the old Ernst Center pool, and about an hour later, I'm the new assistant coach at Kenyon College, and I'm still swimming. I'm going to swim again. He read through me, then created this amazing opportunity for me to swim another semester. I was trying to make a short course world championship team for my native Brazil, and Jim read that. He asked me, "Do you still want to swim?" I said, "No, Jim, I got a wife and a kid. That's a long time ago." And he goes, "No, I see it. You want to swim." And so I swim, because that's what you do with Jim. Amazing experience. I got to learn so much about the team. I was coached by Jim, and I coached with Jim. Amazing experience. I learned so much, and I understood his training systems, and I connected with it, and I still use them today. Jim's superpower is, again, ability to read people, and ultimately ignites an amazing intrinsic energy and motivation his athletes, coaches, and really all who touch the program. I still feel that way many years ago. Looking back at that time, I passed on the opportunity, sorry, Pete, to be a graduate assistant at the exercise physiology department at Oakland University. I passed that so I could go to the Jim Steen Accelerated Learning Institute, so I called. For 3 years, I lived, I breathed, I was all about it, right? I learned so much in those 3 years. I was gym assistant for 3 seasons, only 3. But that experience set me on a lifetime in my coaching career. I was the first non-Kenyon grad to actually be allowed on the pool deck at Kenyon, so I've always felt special about that. Behind Jim's success, as always, he has a phenomenal family, starting with his wife, Marcy, who's here tonight, his 2 daughters, Sarah and Tori, and I was very fortunate. Jim decided early on he was not going to recruit his daughter, Sarah, to go to Kenyon College. But I was the assistant. Guess what I did? I recruited her hard, right? And she ended up coming to Kenyon. I take great pride in that. That was one of my best recruiting jobs because there was a lot of attrition there, a lot of energy. But Jim completely removed himself from that process to the point where Sarah didn't even believe he wanted her there. And I finally had to play the Cupid, and I had to sit both of them down to have a conversation, how that was going to be okay for Sarah to join Kenyon College. I learned that from Jim, so when my kids got to the same point, and it was time for the recruiting process, I didn't touch them either. I let my wife handle it. And they all came to Louisville, so I guess it worked. The thing about Jim is he's a creative guy. He invented a power rack. He's always looking for different ways to achieve the task. How do we do something? And he spent time and time perfecting the power rack routines. To this day, the standard power rack routine that we all get, when you buy a power rack, you get a little form, 20, 16, 12. That's the one I still use, and it works, right? Jim perfected that. His written practices, these are good ones. His written practices were like color-coded essays. And I kid you not, I remember one time we sat down, and it was at least 2 hours to write one practice. And I say we as in myself and Gwen Evans, the assistant coach, and we watched Jim work on this practice. I learned a lot. My practices are color-coded today. Jim never wanted to accept the status quo. And every year when you're a returning national champion, there was this aura about it. So my last year at Kenyon, the team was going for the 20th consecutive NCAA title. And there was a lot of events being around that, the alumni organization, events. This could be an epic season, 20 in a row. So a lot of buzz was happening around the program to the point where some of the boys got a little too comfortable. And Jim, as I said, he read them. So we have this one meeting that I never forgot. All the boys are sitting on the ground, Jim standing, and he said, "Boys, I need a national title like I need a hole in my head. However, you don't have one. You have nothing. This team has nothing." And that was an epic turnaround for that team. Created an amazing energy, and those boys are out to prove Jim they were going to get something at the end of that season. Epic 20th straight national title. Post-retirement, I was worried. I know many of you who know Jim probably were too. What is he going to do? He lives this thing. He spent hours planning and plotting. So I got really good intel that he started tracking all his walks after retirement. And I'm going to read this part. So he has a spreadsheet that he started when he retired. He's been tracking his daily walks since his retirement in 2012. That's 12 years of walk tracking. The spreadsheet, not surprisingly, includes heart rates, distances, and of course, it's completely color-coded, as you would expect. I counted at least 12 active coaches right now have ties with Kenyon and Jim directly. On the video, they said 24, so I'll take 24. The last story I'll share is on selfishness. We worked together for 3 years, and we were gelling. Jim let me cover a lot of the dirty work, and he did what he loved to do. He sat in front of his computer. He created ideas. He created spreadsheets. He created tempos and ranges and back half speed and a million different things. That was his niche. And back to that first meeting, he asked me the question, if you want to coach, what would you like to do? And I mentioned, I would love to coach Division I one day. I hadn't coached a day yet, but I thought maybe I can coach Division I. So at the end of that season, the 20th national title, we were gelling, and I know it was a really hard thing. Jim went out of his way to basically push me out. I had the wings ready, so he pushed me out of the nest to take a Division I job. And I agonized over that decision. So did my wife, and so did he. And that was really difficult time. And, you know, even though you're not making anything, you're loving every moment of it, and that's all that matters, right? That was my experience. So as we were getting ready to move, and we accepted this job, and we're going to leave Kenyon, my wife was pregnant, and my second son was about to be born. And we named it Nicholas James Albiero. So it's my truly honor to introduce to you a living legend in my book, James Jim Steen.
Lights are bright. Thanks, Arthur. 3 of my most enjoyable years in coaching were with that guy. I also want to congratulate Peter and Rob, 2 of the very best coaches I had the privilege of competing against over the years. And Peter, our amazing dual meet matchups from the 80s and 90s when we were at the top of our division, along with that time we spent together at the Olympic Training Center with our combined team of trial qualifiers, are among my favorite coaching memories. You were and always have been a great friend. Okay, you're probably wondering how someone goes about winning 50 national titles. I'm wondering that too. Because in my mind, the answer always comes down to, I was in the right place, at the right time, with the right people. When you have individuals in your program who are passionate about the sport and go on to win national titles as either a swimmer or a coach or both, like Arthur, like Greg Perini at Denison, or John Howell at Emory, or Josh White at Michigan, or Abby Brethauer at Princeton, or Jess Book at Kenyon, bronze medal winning coaches Kenny Heiss, Carson Foster's coach, and Tom Rushton, Siobhan Hawley's coach, to name just a few, you're going to win some meets, maybe even a championship or two. I was fortunate to attract swimmers over the years who liked being coached. And if you have individuals in your program who really like that sort of process, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of them when it comes to performance. But 50 NCAA titles worth of performance? I agree, that's unusual, and something I try very, very hard not to think about. Receiving this honor tonight, however, has invited me to reevaluate what coaching qualities and projective thinking on my part might have contributed to this sort of success. As a coach, I was a pretty good stroke technician, but nothing great. As a trainer, I was good at running 2 or 3 lanes in practice or monitoring a small group of swimmers on the power rack or a benchmark set, but not good at overseeing an entire team for an entire practice. My workouts and season training plans, I believe, were extremely well thought out and effective, but absolutely no better than any other coach in here who's achieved success in the sport. And as Doc Kelsman used to say, according to my good friend Joel Steger at IU, writing workouts and creating a training plan doesn't make you a good coach. There is, however, one skill I'm fairly certain I'm better at than any coach in this room. I am really good at folding laundry, and I enjoy it. Bath towels in perfect thirds, hand towels in perfect squares, fitted sheets, no problem. Clothes, including underwear and socks for everyone in the family, grandkids, you name it, carefully laid out, hand-pressed, similar items, and colors grouped together, such that when all was said and done, anybody looking at the final result would say, that's a nice pile of laundry. I'm guessing a lot of my swimmers would insist that I brought the same level of detail, precision, and order to the team that I brought to a pile of clothes. As far as projective thinking that provided the foundational mindset for the teams that I coach, especially going into nationals, that pretty much got reestablished after we won our 3rd men's NCAA title in 1982. It was only our 3rd win, but I was already beginning to see the signs of a team weighted down by its own sense of superiority and entitlement. Guys wanted to win, guys expected to win, guys felt the overwhelming need to live up to their own hype going into a championship, and it wasn't that much fun. Plus, it was affecting their performances, and it was affecting my performance as a coach. And believe it or not, it was never that important to me to win a championship. Never important to me to win a championship. But it was vitally important to me to be successful. And what's interesting about that is the fact that you can very much be one without the other. At least that was the case for me. You can win an NCAA title and not be successful, and I've done that a few times, so I know what that's like. And you can not win an NCAA title and yet be very successful, and I've done that too, just not as much. As a result of the struggles we faced in 1982, we had developed a new way of looking at things that pretty much guided our teams over the remaining 30 years of my career. And it went something like this. It's always better to go from being a nobody to a somebody than to go from being a somebody to a nobody. Which basically suggests the need to get back to a baseline where you feel like you really haven't accomplished anything at all. It had become apparent that if we continued to carry all these unusual successes with us into every new season, it just wouldn't feed into the sort of hunger that would allow us to reinvent ourselves into something new and different and quite possibly better. Getting swimmers back to a nobody state of mind at the beginning of the season was very difficult at first, especially for those who had achieved a certain somebody status. But over time, it got much easier. Instead of living for success at the national level, we became much more focused on successfully living, recognizing in our heart of hearts we really hadn't accomplished anything at all. And starting the season as a team of nobodies gave us the freedom, humility, and peace of mind to focus so much more energy on becoming and much less on defending. In 2011, I was invited to give the baccalaureate address at Kenyon College. The senior class invited me to do that. A talk NPR listed at the time among the 200 best commencement speeches ever, although it was actually a baccalaureate address, so go figure. I was a year away from retiring, and I decided this might be as good a time as any to express my truth on developing one's capacity to perform when it counts. And if you want a more complete picture of what I might have brought to the playing field and expand a little bit on that nobody to somebody theme as a coach, this address would be a good place to start. So in the final analysis, do I think this folding clothes and nobody to somebody business is why we won 50 NCAA championships? Now, I think I was just in the right place at the right time with the right people. Wrapping things up, I want to thank Jennifer Lamont. I want to thank the ASCA Board of Directors. I want to especially thank George Kennedy, because I know you had a lot to do with me getting this award. And you always took the right kind of proprietary approach to our division. We all benefited, and I thank you for that. I want to thank my wife, Marcy, who we're closing in on 50 years. And Marcy, whenever the swimmers or any assistant coaches were having a problem, they would go talk to her. And she would come to me and she'd go, "Why are you doing that to them? Why are you doing that to him?" All the time. It was very difficult, you know. They knew they had an open ear with Marcy, and I would then hear about it. "You're going too hard on them." And anyhow, I want to thank you all. And Arthur, I want to thank you. I want to thank all my coaching friends who came here tonight, Don Meggerly, Peter Smith, George, Mike Sutton, who started with me in the coaching ranks, Jess Book, who represents my swimmers, a couple of whom are here. Josh is here tonight. My hometown boy, Sam Bancura, we started Total Performance together. Dave Jennings at Miami University, who winningest coach ever, swimming coach ever, Miami University. And I coached him when he was like 14 or 15, Dave, you know, and I thought I pretty much killed you and got you out of the sport, but you went on to do well, you know? And I appreciate all of you coming tonight. It's meant a lot to have your support. And I enjoyed our time together. Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Guys, you're both fantastic.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are.
I don't know if I have anything up here, and I'll grab this here.
There you go. Did I tell you? Did I tell you it was going to be inspiring? Amazing. Okay, our next section of the program is to honor those who have passed in the last year. So if you could direct your attention to the screen, we are going to see and remember those coaches. All right, thank you very much. Jack Simon, can you please come to the stage? Jack's going to explain quickly his, Jack? Jack? Maybe he's not coming to the stage. Oh, okay. Hey, Jack. Okay. While he's coming to the stage, I would like to recognize our 30 under 30s who are here. Hopefully you are here. Can you guys stand and wave? Yes. No. Yeah, there they are in the house. These are 30 amazing coaches under the age of 30 who won a grant to come to World Clinic. They've never been to a World Clinic before. That's a stipulation. And so if you get a chance to run into them, please do so and tell them, give them all your best advice. They are soaking in everything they can while they're here, and they're an amazing group of coaches. So thank you for being here, and hope you're enjoying your first World Clinic. Thanks. Is yours.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you and your staff for putting on a great clinic. First and foremost, my congratulations to all honorees tonight. There's absolutely nothing better than to be honored by your peers. A special, although he's not here, to Anthony Nesty for one of the great 1,500 swims of my career. I was sitting back in my recliner waiting for Bobby's famous comeback swim. Last two or 300, I knew for sure that he'd be there. At 200 meters, I leaped out of my recliner, and for me, that's dangerous. And then you would have thought I was 8 years old. When you're yelling and screaming at the TV for one of the greatest, first world record since 1976 for the United States. Fantastic. A couple of years ago when we announced this award for excellence in distance swimming, there were numerous sort of negative comments. The standard was too tough. It was for clubs only. Obviously, I made it a tough standard because I wanted to see the 1,500 become a favorite event in the United States again. And for clubs, that's because you're the heart and soul of swimming in the United States. You can help to make the 1,500 better. You who are club coaches, get out and argue with your LSCs and get the 1,500 off the last event of a meet and put it in the middle of the meet. And if you're unsuccessful at that, be brave enough to stand up to your swimmers and your parents and make sure that your kids stay there to cheer for those kids that are swimming the 1,500. We bring that event back, I will guarantee you we dominate swimming in every event. It's such an important aspect of swimming. Jennifer gave me 2 minutes, otherwise the hook was coming out. So I just wanted to thank everybody and congratulate all the award winners again. And let's make sure that we get back to work here and make the United States the most dominant swimming nation in the world. Thank you.
And thanks again to Coach Simon, who has donated the funding for when someone does meet the criteria to win the award, which they did not this year, they will win the cash prize. So hopefully next year. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Ellen Johnston, who is going to introduce our finalists for the Impact Coach of the Year.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. For those of you who don't know, the ASCA Impact Coach of the Year Award is given to a coach who has made significant contributions to the sport of swimming and the profession of coaching in the past year by positively impacting the lives of others through their dedication, hard work, and service. Our 4 finalists are as follows. Grace Erkeneff, Vacaville Swim Club. Grace had been with Vacaville, left, and came back to a program that had experienced deep decline and was really kind of on the probably roads of not surviving. She came back, rebuilt the club with a group of unified coaches whose love and enthusiasm for the sport was transferred to the coaches, the swimmers, and the parents. She is recognized for her strong character and leadership. Abby Liu, Bellevue Club Swim Team. As a first-generation Asian gay female whose love, passion, and dedication outweighs the bias and bigotry she has faced and endured, Abby's dedication has had a profound and lasting impact on the swimming community that transcends beyond the pool. Mary Wada Tanji, Rainbow Aquatics, a mainstay in the Hawaiian swimming scene. Her goal has been to provide a loving and nurturing environment where kindness and respect are the foundations for everyone's growth and success. And Kevin Pan, Dragon Swim Club, founder and head coach. Kevin's team represents a diverse ethnic group that includes, yet not limited to, African American, Asian, and Hispanic, where the majority are first generation. He's a catalyst to their lives as swimmers through their academics and their profession. A tremendous group of finalists for this year's Impact Coach of the Year.
Hold on, don't open it yet.
Okay.
Let's bring them up to do,
Oh, I'm sorry.
do a picture real quick.
Okay, if our finalists, would you all please come up to the stage? We have a couple of them here. Awesome. Oh, come on up. Yeah. You want me in the picture too? Am I in the picture too?
Go ahead and announce her.
Abby Liu. Kevin Pan. And the winner is, Jennifer asked me if I wanted to know, and I really didn't, so here we go. The winner of the 2024 ASCA Impact Coach of the Year, Abby Liu, Bellevue Club Swim Team.
I just ask for 1 minute on the mic. I just want to thank Jennifer and ASCA and everyone being here tonight and recognize us. Even though this is Impact Coach of the Year, but I want to thank everyone in my community who impacted me. As an immigrant female minority coach on deck, I'm proud of who I am, but without you all embracing me, welcoming me to the pool deck, I would not be I am where I am. So I just want to thank y'all impacting me. I am extremely emotional because Bob. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been reminding myself, and when it comes things, I always ask myself, what would Bob say? And his infectious laugh will always play in my head, and he will always end his phone calls with me, which I was very lucky. I was the very last person spoke with him before he passed away. We said, good night, I love you. So I want to thank you, and I love you all. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so next we're going to honor our fellows I'm going to read off the name of the ones who are finishing their project for this year. They did a project on retention of swimmers in the 11 to 14 year age range and did an incredible job. And they are Johnny Dre, Angie Fain, Jody Ruskowski, Tara Bolivar, Michaela Bagley, and Brandon Converse. And congratulations to them for finishing their year as an ASCA Fellow. And our new fellows for this year, who will be studying social media and its impact on teams, are Brad Greishoff, Jason Lovell, and Matthew Horner. So thank you all for being, would you all please stand, the fellows that are here, and just be recognized? There they are in the back, waving. Okay. Our last and final award of the evening is the ASCA George Haynes Coach of the Year Award, and it is based on the individual whose coaching effectiveness has contributed the most towards world swimming excellence towards American excellence at the world level. And I'd like to start the video to introduce our 5 finalists, and then Mike Murray will come to the stage. So go ahead. Thank you.
They start with the clock, and each swimmer is asked to time himself. Ready, go! Watch the clock.
The ASCA George Haynes Coach of the Year is awarded to the individual whose coaching effectiveness has contributed the most towards American swimming excellence at the world level. In an Olympic year, only coaches with a gold medalist athlete are considered. The finalists are determined by the medals, both individual and relay, earned by their athletes at the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Good evening. What an incredible group of coaches. I do want to recognize all of the spouses of coaches who play such a seminal role in the success of these great coaches who we honor here tonight. So if we can get a quick round of applause for all of those spouses and the role that you play in your spouse's success. It doesn't go unnoticed. The ASCA George Haynes Coach of the Year Award is presented annually to the individual whose coaching effectiveness has contributed the most towards American swimming excellence on the world stage. It has been awarded since 1961, and the winners have included all of the greats over the years, such as Doc Councilman, John Urbanchek, Eddie Reese, Greg Troy, and of course, George Haynes, for whom the award is named. 5 coaches who had numerous medalists at the 2024 Paris Olympics last month have been named finalists for this prestigious award. They are Bob Bowman, Todd DeSorbo, Dave Durden, Greg Meehan, and Anthony Nesti. And I am excited to announce the winner. The winner of the 2024 ASCA Coach of the Year is Coach Anthony Nesti from the University of Florida. To accept this award on his behalf is a coach with Gator Swim Club, my friend, John Holvey. We were lucky enough to get a video acceptance from Coach Nesti, so if you can direct your attention to the screen.
On behalf of the American Swimming Coaches Association and the swimming community, I want to express my gratitude and honor of accepting the ASCA George Haynes Coach of the Year Award. Due to a scheduling conflict, I'm unable to attend tonight's ceremony, but wanted to say thank you to all who have continued to pioneer this sport to what it is today. This is a shared victory for everyone who has dedicated so much of their time mentoring and laying the foundation for the success of our athletes. Thank you all for your support and for this incredible honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings our awards ceremony to a conclusion. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I did. Hopefully you were inspired. I know I was. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. For those of you who are here with our honorees who are moving up to the VIP dinner, it is in the Signature 2 room right at the top of the escalator. And for those of you who are not, I hope you have a wonderful evening in Orlando, and we'll see you tomorrow.